Good morning, Facebook. Hello, Restaurant Coach Nation out there. Donald Burns, Restaurant Coach, coming to you live. And this is the beautiful thing about virtual meetings. I'm here today joined by my good friend, Doug Radkey, who is up in Canada.
Woohoo. Beautiful Canada.
Yeah, how's the weather up there?
It's starting to turn the corner.
Starting to turn the corner?
Starting to turn the corner a little.
What's that mean?
Warmer.
It's only -5?
Yeah, +5.
+5. All right, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So how are I know in the United States this coronavirus is really, it's just taking its toll. In Canada, I'm pretty sure is probably feeling the same thing, right?
It's obviously taking its toll here. I know the U.S. numbers are obviously higher than ours here, but what they just released some projections here in Ontario, which is where I am right now. As it was like 15, they're looking at about 1,500 deaths by the end of April if we stay on the same path we are right now, and perhaps 15,000 by the time this is all said and done, whenever that is. And they're even saying that could be a year, right? So who knows when that's going to be, but yeah, we're definitely seeing some issues with that. And there's a lot of similarities between Canada and the US, obviously, in terms of what's happening.
So what's your outlook on this? How long do you think this is going to last? What's your prediction? Sorry,
I lost you there for a sec.
Oh, so what's your prediction on how long you think this is going to last?
My prediction or my hope? That's the big question, right? Ideally, obviously, based on where it is right now, I'd love to see by the summer being able to get out and doing somewhat normalcy, but based on how the numbers are going and keep going up, it could be another 6 months. But in terms of our restaurants going to be able to be open, it's going to be really hard to tell when that's going to be a possibility, right? It's really tough to gauge on that, but obviously the industry's upside down right now. We're seeing closures all over the place. I know in the US, I think your numbers are 5% closed permanently so far. And we're very similar. We're like 5-6%, and they're anticipating that to go up to about maybe 10% by the end of April. So
yeah, they're saying right now it's 5% have closed, and they're predicting another 11% by end of April. So that'd be
similar,
50%. And they say, well, I just read an article this morning that when this thing's all said and done, they're predicting probably 20% of restaurants in the United States would be done, which a million restaurants in the United States, that's 200,000 restaurants. Yeah, 200,000 restaurants closed for good. It's a lot of hopes and dreams and hard work.
Yeah, and a lot of real estate that's going to be sitting empty.
A lot of real estate. So, and I talk about this a lot, and especially on these live calls we've been doing. The Chinese word for crisis is basically two characters. It's a danger and opportunity. So yes, there is danger out there, but also we need to look at the opportunity. Like you said, there's going to be a lot more real estate available. Also, what's the number one thing everyone's complained about for the last couple of years? No one to hire. You can't find people to work, right?
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of A talent that you're going to be able to attract. Yeah.
That's where you right now you want to get your plan together.
Absolutely. I think this industry is going to be separated by those that are going to attack the day, and those that sit on their hands just waiting. Or right now, like I've been saying, people are just sitting at home watching Netflix, right? There's the two different, like you said, two different people. The ones that are going to look at the opportunity and go after it, right?
Yeah, and then the people just bury their head in the sand and just wait for the gloom and doom to hit, which becomes a fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
So when I first brought you on for this thing, I said, "What's the title for the talk?" And you said, every red light eventually turns green.
So I couldn't believe, that's a great motto, and something that I've been trying to just push myself with over the last few weeks.
So go into that a little bit more. How can restaurants right now look at this red light and start even thinking about making this thing turn green?
Yeah, that's the difficult aspect, right? Everybody's sitting wondering when that green light's going to come. That's going to be different for a lot of people. I think it's going to go based on state and province here in Canada as well. Everybody's going to release things at different times, allow different restrictions to be lifted at different times. So it's going to be really hard to know when that's going to happen. But even if you have a month or 2 months, 3 months to plan, take advantage of this time to come out even stronger. And how you can do that is by, assessing your current situation, looking at everything from a 360-degree, look around your concept and your business model. Look for ways to pivot. That's been the key word I think everybody's using over the last few weeks or months. And,
pivot and reset.
We've done it ourselves. We're a startup agency for the most part. And now we're starting to pivot with, some programs for currently operating venues, right? Because right now, if I ask, hey, who's going to start a restaurant right now? It's not the top of mind for too many people right now, right? So from our point of view, we had to pivot as well. So, and once you pivot, you start finding that right demand for you, and then develop continuity. That's what you're going to have to really start focusing on. A lot of places right now over the last few weeks have been scared about April 1st when it came around for rent.
Right.
And, I understand that's obviously a huge bill for many, but we shouldn't have been in a position where we couldn't pay the next month's rent if an emergency came up, right? And a lot of people aren't going to like that phrase, but it's the truth in my opinion. And we should have had more of a contingency plan as operators in place to pay a little bit going forward, right?
I put out a post on a blog post on my website, and it said, the coronavirus isn't your fault, but how you ran your restaurant before is.
Right.
Because a lot of people got caught with their pants down.
For sure.
And, we had a lot of things, and you hear me talk about this. You've seen me speak quite a few times. We all have these things we should do. I should cost out my menu. I should market more. I should hire, fire that negative energy vampire sucking the life out of me. But we don't do it.
Right.
Yeah. So,
that's part of the plans going forward. I think we need to start, even from us, when we put business plans together, we need to look at ways for them to come up with an emergency, financial plan. I think you had said it, or somebody recently said it was like in case of emergency, break this glass kind of thing, right? Like, I can't remember who said that, but somebody did recently.
Like that, yeah.
And I think that's 100% true, and that needs to be part of a business model moving forward for restaurants and a lot of businesses, to be quite honest. So.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, at your website, you're offering a kind of, what do you call it, a post-pandemic planning, right?
Correct. So that's one of our premium programs that we're putting out there to help operators. And we also have another freebie, if you will, which is helpformyrestaurant.com as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, which is a few different people that came together to put some content up, 100% free, free to download. You don't even have to give us your email address. Just take it and go with it. We put it up about 5 days ago, and it's got over 500 downloads already. So we're super excited about that. So,
yeah, I'm looking at your website right now. So, your post-pandemic planning, it's basically a 4-step kind of process.
Yeah, I think we're going to start with, a nice Zoom call, phone call. I think Zoom is, if anybody invested in Zoom before, it's probably a good time to invest in that. It's been going off pretty good. Everybody's using Zoom now. So even myself, I'm adapting to all this new technology myself. But we're going to start with a Zoom call and then move to a 50-point checklist, and then a actual development plan that focuses on a variety of different components, and then with some follow-ups for the next 6 months to make sure you are, executing that plan, make sure there's no other challenges that are popping up, kind of help guide you through that. Oh,
there's a question. I remember she was at our Restaurant Success Summit in Tucson.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there something everyone is learning? This is something everyone's learning. All I could think about the last few weeks was your question, what's your exit strategy? So, if you never thought about having an exit strategy, you know what? It's probably too late now to think about.
Too late to think about that, yeah.
But your exit strategy now, but I would say you want to think about your reopening strategy first, and then think about your exit strategy. I had a client the other day saying, and their lease is up in September, and she was thinking, and she was asking, hey, do you think anybody would buy my place? I'm like, not now. No one's gonna buy restaurants for like a year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like the market for restaurants to be bought are gonna be like zero,
or at least at a good decent value. I'm sure you could sell it for ridiculous. I'm seeing some for sale right now. I don't know if they're getting any hits, but they're definitely not at the value that they would have got 4 weeks ago, for example. So
yeah, this is an excellent opportunity too. I mean, and so when I was talking to her, I was like, well, let's not think about selling. Let's think about your other options. Number one, you could redo the brand, kind of re-engineer or rework your business model. Absolutely. She's more fine dining, sit down service. Maybe restructure the thing more fast casual. Of course, again, you want to have multiple revenue streams. Delivery and takeout. If you weren't in that game, you got to be in that game now, because it's going to be a new habit. It's creating a new behavioral trend that people have gotten used to.
No, I think the trend was going that way. I think this pandemic kind of accelerated it a little faster.
A lot.
But does that mean that you have to sign up to Uber Eats and skip the dishes here in Canada? Not necessarily, right? I think, are guests going to Uber to order a meal, or are they going to Uber to order your meal? That's going to be the big thing, and that's what I'm trying to push to people as well. Is are they just using Uber, for example, as a vehicle just to order? Go on there, scroll through. Where are you in that list, right? Or are they going top of mind with your brand, going to that, right? So you can't just sit there and rely on Uber or whoever.
No,
you still got to market, but there is also other opportunities out there without using those third parties to put some great programs together, and online ordering, curbside pickup. You don't have to use those delivery apps that are eating away at your profits.
Right. Yeah, I love curbside pickup, especially if you're in a spot where you can designate a couple spots right in front of your place and make cool signage for it. Go make it like it's a big deal. I mean, you see the big chains doing it. They have Chili's to go, and they have the really cool signs right there, and they got like fluorescent painted parking lot, parking spaces. It's pretty cool. I mean, they make it like it's like really like you're special if you can park.
Yeah, and same with I think drive-throughs. That's going to change a little. You're going to see multi-lane drive-throughs more and stuff like that as well, right? So I think the landscape in general is just going to be changing. Is there still going to be a space for those fine dining properties down the road? I don't think people are going to, as soon as the restrictions come off, just be like, hey, let's go out and have I think it's going to be a gradual increase into that space. Specifically, I think QSRs will do just fine when these restrictions lift, as they are kind of doing okay right now. But the other ones, and bars, for example, who are people going to be comfortable to go to and sit at a bar 2 feet away from somebody they don't know? How long is it going to take for people to feel comfortable to sit beside people they don't know, right? So there's a lot of unknowns. So that's going to come down to how you're reviewing your current concept and your layout. Maybe you need to restructure how your seating is laid out for the next 6 months of opening. Maybe you need to create, instead of jamming everybody in, create a little bit of, take away some tables, separate the bar stools a little bit, and just let people get a little bit more comfortable to start. People
are going to be gun shy. That's for sure. This is created, again, anytime something happens more than 30 days, it creates new habits. And we have new habits and new behavioral patterns being formulated right now that we have to be aware of. And a lot of people are just like, oh, I just can't wait to go open up and go back to normal. Well,
there's going to be a new normal. That's the other phrase, new normal, right?
New normal.
And nobody really knows what that is going to be, right? We're all experiencing this for the first time, so we can guess and anticipate as much as possible, but we don't really know for sure how everybody's going to react. There's going to be some people that are going to want to go back to eating out. There's going to be some that are going to be skeptical and stick with the takeout and delivery. And then there's also a market that's not going to have the money right away, because they're also in financial hardship right now, so they're not going to be able to go out and spend money at restaurants when this gets lifted either, right? So you have to really understand your guest profiles, know everything about them, and how long were they laid off for, and what their financial situation is, and what are they looking at in terms of brand influence and stuff like that.
So in the United States, they have, this big, huge stimulus package that
Right.
that
we have one not as cool named as yours. Yours is just CARES, which, worked out really well. Ours is like CERB, I think, CURB. There's a Canadian Emergency Relief Benefit.
Okay.
Something like that. So that's coming out. You can start applying. Some businesses can already start applying for things like that now. And then from a personal point of view, they're doing some things starting next week that you can apply for. But is that going to be the answer for everybody, both Canada and the U.S.? Likely not. It's going to help maybe a little bit to keep you afloat right now. But if it's anything that's a loan, obviously you're going to have to pay that back. I know I think some of yours is like a loan that's transferred into a grant if you follow certain guidelines and stuff like that.
Right, and then the grants are forgivable.
Right, yeah. Well, we don't really have that. I haven't unpacked it super detailed yet, but I don't think we have anything that turns into a grant like that. So.
Yeah, here's the thing. This stimulus money is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a great idea, and, a lot of restaurants can really use it. But if your restaurant was running really bad before, this is just going to prolong the inevitable.
Right.
Yeah. So not having a solid plan, not knowing your numbers, not having a great culture that attracts top talent. If you don't have those things in place, it doesn't matter how much stimulus money you have. It's not going to save you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
put up with old bad habits you had.
Exactly. You're gonna have to really take a good, strong look in the mirror. Look at your branding. Look at your messaging that you're putting out there. Your community. I know you're gonna love this one. The core values and the value statements. Right. So, those are key things right now. That if you have the time, let's get that sorted out and start putting you on the right path. We already mentioned building that A team. There's going to be a lot of talent out there looking for work. So you're going to have to, once you have your core values and your value statements in place, now it's going to help finding those right fits for your brand in terms of employer.
And you just wrote an article recently for Nightclub and Bar. You and I both do a lot of stuff with Nightclub and Bar.
Right.
It was about like self-care, right? Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, that was I think a key piece to put together at this time. I think we need to create opportunities to just step back and take care of ourselves. A lot of leaders and owners, they're obviously trying to take care of their teams and their staff and worrying about rent. There's some that are doing some great programs in terms of helping or feeding healthcare workers and frontline workers, which is fantastic. But you also have to give yourself a break and, get yourself into the rights, your key word is mindset, right? Get into the right mindset and, be mindful, take some time for yourself, whether that's, exercising, doing some yoga, make sure you're eating healthy at this time. A lot of people can get overwhelmed with the decisions that they have to make, thinking a month ahead, 2 months, worrying about money. It can drive people into some really bad situations. So I think the point of that article was, just let people know that they need to take care of themselves, and also that, we're all in this together. And if you need help, reach out.
And then you and I are both signed up to work with Bruce Irving. He's doing the first virtual online pizza summit, and it starts on Monday. If you haven't checked it out, I'm going to throw up a link on here. You can go check it out. It's going to be pretty cool. He's got 30 speakers. And then like 35 sessions now. And you're doing this. What session are you doing, Doug? Doug, you there?
Yes.
So what session are you doing for Pizza Summit?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what's the name of your session? Oh, I'm losing you. That's the beautiful thing about live, is that when the internet works, it works great.
I'm doing my Epic Beverage program.
Oh,
and I
awesome.
got some cool little different things in there that from what I typically do at, yep.
So we're losing Doug here. Must be bad internet in Canada. So the Pizza Summit, Bruce Irving, who's actually going to be on the he's going to actually be live with me tomorrow. It's a great thing, and just don't get blown away by the name Pizza Summit. It's not just for pizza restaurants, okay? It's actually for restaurants in general. Doug's doing his Epic Bar Beverage Program session, which he's done around the U.S. It's a great one. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great one about getting your beverage program in line. I'm going to be doing 3 sessions. I'm doing one on hiring called the Hire Attitude, how to attract, retain, and basically train top talent, because that's going to be a skill that you really need moving into this new economy. You're going to need to be able to attract people better. You want to hire people better, and you want to make sure that you are on top of your hiring game 100%. And then I'm also doing a session. It's going to be called The 9 Secrets to Thriving in a Post-Coronavirus Economy. I'm going to actually lay out basically an 8-step kind of action plan. I'm going to take you through the action plan on how you actually can get your restaurant really kind of amped up and ready to roll in this new economy. So tune in for that one. And then my last one I'm doing a kind of profitable menu design workshop too, because your menu is your number one marketing and profitability tool. And I'm going to give you some tools and tips on how you can take that to the next level. So make sure to check that out. Again, you want to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You want to make sure that you are doing what you can. The Pizza Summit is a great thing. Also, if you haven't had a chance, go over to my check out. I'll put a link in the notes here. Sign up for the Coronavirus Action Plan for restaurants. I have a webinar I did. It's like an hour long. It's going to be pretty awesome. So check that out too. I'll put the link in the show notes. Again, it's free. Trying to help people out the best we can. So, Doug, you there? I think Doug's coming back. Well, until Doug's back, I'm just going to keep on rambling on because that's what I do. So, also take a look. I'm going to be reopening. Now, I closed my restaurant mastermind group down last year because of my travel schedule was just crazy. And I just couldn't keep up with it because I was traveling so much. I was actually on the road usually 3 weeks out of the month. I mean, that's a lot of travel. But now with this coronavirus, I have to say that I have a lot more time at home, and I really want to dedicate to really doing more stuff with my restaurant mastermind. So I'll be opening up my restaurant mastermind group in mid-April. So message me if you want information on how to join my restaurant mastermind group. And Doug is back.
I'm back. We had a little power
outage.
Yeah. I think we're good now.
Canada, man, they're not paying the power grid or what?
Not. There we go.
Sorry while you were gone, I kind of pitched your Epic Beverage program for people.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to be doing some couple different things on that one versus what I've typically done at some of the other shows that I've spoke at in terms of the beverage program.
Right.
I got some, I think anybody that has, a beverage program right now, an alcohol, for example, a great way to get that out there is you could actually do beverage kits, with your takeout meals and put everything together in terms of all the ingredients, the mixes, the garnishes, put it in a kit, send it with a pizza or whatever the meal is. And when they get there, they can make their own cocktail, and you have a QR code or a link to a video of your staff teaching them how to make that drink using all the ingredients they now have.
Very cool. Well, what would be, so when this thing's over and you can go back to a bar or a restaurant, what's the first restaurant bar you're going to?
That's a good question. Anywhere I'm going to support the local restaurants here in Burlington where I am. They need some help. I'm going to do that first and foremost. Not sure which one yet, but one thing I'm looking forward to just getting traveling again. I'm supposed to be in Vegas. We were this past week. And then I'm supposed to be in Vegas again in 3 weeks, which has been canceled as well. So, and I know that city's hurting. So I can't wait to get back there. Everywhere's hurting, but obviously Las Vegas is a hospitality town, and
oh yeah,
they're hurting really bad. So it's not just restaurants, it's bars, it's casinos, it's airlines, anything, hotels, obviously. So we're all hurting, and I can't wait to start, helping those properties and that get going again. It's going to be.
What's the first drink you're going to order?
I'm going to go with a really good margarita, I think.
Good margarita?
A good one.
So you had a really good mezcal.
Mezcal, yeah. I love, when we were at your summit there in Tucson, I had a couple of mezcals down there. Obviously, it's nicer there than the product we get up here for the most part. So that was a nice change. But
if you missed out last year, the Restaurant Success Summit, it's my annual conference I have for my restaurant mastermind group. Doug was really cool to come down. I had Bo Bryant there. Ava Ballerin from Spain came over and spoke. We also had Kelly Jones came down and talked. It was pretty epic. Small group, like 50 people, but it was really intense. We did 2 days. We went long, all day.
That was intense.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. All day. We went from like 8 a.m. till like 7 p.m. And I think we stopped just an hour for lunch. That was it.
Yeah.
It was intense.
It was awesome.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yes.
She was there. She came up from Panama and her brother too. That was pretty epic to have people come from around around not only the United States but from around the world that came to this thing. And I'm telling you right now, I am planning on doing it again in November. Probably we'll play it by ear to see what's happening. But I am planning on doing it again. I thought it was great, especially a small group. We'll just have to maybe put the tables farther apart, have a little more social distancing. But we're going to keep the group small again, only 50 people max. We're going to have another A-list lineup of speakers to come down. It's going to be 2 full days, a lot of intense stuff. Doug will be back, of course, like always.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So if you haven't gone to Doug's website, go over and check it out, krghospitality.com.
Lots of good stuff.
Post-pandemic, what do you call it?
Post-pandemic plan.
Post-pandemic plan. That's it.
Planning. Yeah. It's going to be a lot like that plan that we're going to put together. It's going to be super, super in depth. People got to realize once they do start, opening again, they got to ease into it. We can't just, open up and expect it's going to be the same again. We got to look at, menu. Don't just come out with your full-blown menu again. Everybody's going to be ordering food from the suppliers all at the same time, right? Like every single restaurant is going to be ordering food at the exact same time, right? So there's likely going to be some shortages. So come out with like a really tight niche menu, and same with your staff. Don't bring all your staff back at the same time either. Ease that back in as well, right?
Just like you just can't open. It's not, again, we talk about this word, a buzzword, new normal. You can't just open up and expect everything to go back to the way it was, because it's not.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And cleaning. You have to be even more transparent about cleaning going forward, and cleaning systems and food safety, and people are going to want to be able to see that and see what you're doing. So that's going to be super important as well.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to have. I hate to say it, the sanitation police will be on their phones, and every time they see you make a violation, that's going to get YouTubed, or it's going to be you're going to be put up on Facebook or social media right away when the public sees you kind of violating stuff. So you're going to really be on top of your game 100%.
100% for sure. And, so that's how to be part of your planning going forward, as how are you going to address that? How are you going to ease back into operations? How are you going to be transparent in terms of, food safety and cleaning, and your brand messaging and all that comes with it, and your revenue channels? You should have a budget, revised budget. Obviously nothing's going to be the same as if you did one, hopefully you did one for this year. Put one together for 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months ahead.
Budgets, what's that, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm always shocked, and I always ask the same question every time I do a speaking gig. I always ask the audience the same question: how many people in the audience know down to the penny what everything on your menu costs? And it doesn't matter how big the crowd is. I mean, it could be, 100 people. It could be like 700, like in Spain. I asked the crowd the same thing, and 5% at the most raise their hand. Isn't that sad?
It is, yeah. It's and that's sad and alarming and scary and all kinds of things, right? For sure. And that goes back to our earlier point of properties not being prepared for emergencies, right? Like if you are on top of your numbers like that, you should be able to set aside some funds. I'm not saying it has to be 6 months of emergency funds, but at least something to get you through 1 month at least, so you can start hopefully getting back to a relaunch.
Yeah, if you don't have a kind of a plan right now to put money aside for the future, I think this kind of pandemic will kind of force you to have a good kind of plan.
Yeah, and it's not just this pandemic either. Like, what if a tornado comes through your neck of the woods, right? You need to be prepared and have, because maybe your restaurant will be closed for a few weeks after that. Mm-hmm. You need to be prepared.
Yeah. My big saying I tell people all the time is, if you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business. What you have is a hobby, a very expensive hobby.
100%.
All right. So, Doug, great having you on.
Appreciate you doing this with everybody. I've been trying to haven't watched all of them, but I've been checking in on all your different guests.
Watch them all. That's it.
Yeah, I know. It's been
the summit. Doug will be there. There's a bunch of great speakers. Again, don't be scared off by the name Pizza Summit. There's a lot of great stuff in there for restaurants. It doesn't have to be necessarily pizza places.
For sure.
So the Pizza Summit 2020 starts on Monday. 30 speakers or 26 speakers, 35 sessions. I'm really excited about. He's got the guy who was like the CEO of Disney's on, Lee. Can't remember his last name, but Bruce is going to be. Bruce has really put together this thing pretty fast, and it's pretty amazing. So if you have not checked it out, check it out. Again, if you also please connect with Doug. Go to his website, krghospitality.com. Sign up for, if nothing else, get the Save My what's the free thing you got?
Yeah, the other one is helpformyrestaurant.com.
Helpformyrestaurant.com. Helpformyrestaurant.com. Check that out. Make sure. Oh, it's good to see you too. Kind of like being back in Tucson, except we're a little social distancing. A little different. So helpformyrestaurant.com?
Helpformyrestaurant.com, yeah.
Helpformyrestaurant.com. And make sure to check that out. Also, too, if you want to get on, you want to check out his KRG Hospitality, the plan for the post-pandemic plan. I know it starts off with a free call, right?
Absolutely. Free call, no obligation. Don't have to go into the next step. Just, let's chat, see where you're at, see where your challenges are, where you're at before the pandemic, and, what are some things we can start working on right now.
Awesome, too. And if you're interested, I have a new program coming out. It's actually rolling out with my restaurant masterminds. If you want to get a grip on your KPIs, because KPIs are so good, I got a beta group I'm putting together right now for KPI restaurant KPI mastery. Just message me with the word beta, and I'll send you the application link. I'm only taking 50 people on that beta group too. So
yeah, Donald's told me a lot about this, everybody. So, I haven't seen it, but I've heard lots of good things, and, you definitely need to, everything that we've been talking about for revenue and financial management, you definitely need to get something like this.
It's cool. Really cool. We got, my partner, Darren Manzari, he's really put he's like a wizard on efficiency. He's like the #1 efficiency consultant in the world. And he's put together this program, and it's pretty, I have to say, it's pretty badass. You just have to put if you just spend 5-10 minutes a day, you put in numbers and it spits out on this little dashboard with these gauges and tells you exactly where you're at all the time. So always know where your numbers are, and you're never going to lose track. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do consulting with you remotely, tell you how to get those numbers where you need them to be. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty badass, if I say so myself. So again, thanks, Doug, for stopping by. Hey, please, again, check out Pizza Summit. Doug will be on there. I'll be on there for 3 days. It's going to be awesome. I think if you go to the website, it says there's $50 for the ticket, but if you use that code Pizza Summit DB, and you have a code too, right, Doug?
I believe so. Just use yours. That's cool. yours is up there.
You get the ticket for free, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So again, everyone, please be safe out there. Wash your hands. Anything else, Doug, they should do?
Yeah, just keep just get up excited and work towards something pretty awesome.
I got it pretty nice. I mean, I'm quarantined at home by myself.
Yeah, everybody got introduced to our bedroom here. My office is closed right now, so I'm working out of our condo and our bedroom here. So it's kind of my makeshift office right now.
Right. How is it being quarantined with how old's your daughter?
She's 5, turning 6.
Yeah, how is that being quarantined with a
It's been interesting. It's challenging, and we're getting through it. We're trying to explain it.
Cool. Well, again, thanks, Doug, for stopping by. Everyone, please be safe out there. Wash your hands. Remember, stay positive. This thing will end, and when it does end, you want to be ready. Now's the time to put together a plan to get your restaurant ready to kind of relaunch, reopen, however you want to say it. The word I'm kind of working on is this is a great time to reset. And it's a great opportunity for you to basically, all those things that you may not have been doing correctly in the past, this is your opportunity to make it right and do it the right way. So reach out to someone, reach out to Doug, myself. I have tons of people in my network, tons of consultants that are out here, and we're ready to help you really formulate a solid plan. So when you reopen, you jump out ahead of the market and really take control, and really actually gives you an edge because you're going to be out so far out in front that people won't be able to keep up with you. And that's what you want. So again, everyone have a fantastic day. Again, be safe, be positive, stay healthy.